Let us start with a new chapter, that is health and hygiene. Now, what is health? Health is a state of physical, mental, and social well being of a person. When you are physically, mentally, and socially fit, only then we can say that you are healthy. Now, I will explain you what you mean by the physically, mentally, and socially fit. When you are able to cope up with the day to day life, when you have no digestive disorder, no sleep disturbance, when you are able to cope up with the normal stress, when you have no depression, you are able to build and maintain good relations with the society, when your mind and body are relaxed, when you are feeling happy, when you are healthy and socially connected with the other members of the society, all these symptoms are showing that you are physically, mentally, and socially fit. Moreover, if you have no disease, so you are a healthy one. We have some of the activities to stay healthy. It includes by eating a healthy diet, that is a balanced diet, exercising regularly, by playing different games, running, and taking adequate rest, you are able to stay healthy in your life. Now, hygiene. Hygiene means to keeping yourself and your surroundings neat and clean. If your surroundings and you are neat, clean, then only you are able to prevent yourself from diseases. Now, what a disease means? Disease is a state in an organism in which any of the organ or the organ system of the body fails to function. Means if your body's any organ or organ system is not working properly, then we can say that you are suffering from any one of the disease. We have two types of diseases which we have to discuss in this chapter only, that is communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases. Communicable diseases are those diseases which can be transferred from an infected person to a healthy one. We have example of typhoid, tuberculosis, malaria, common cold. These are the communicable diseases. The second one is non-communicable diseases. Non-communicable diseases are the diseases which cannot be transferred from one person to another. These includes deficiency diseases, metabolic diseases, hereditary diseases. So, non-communicable diseases. As these diseases cannot be transferred from one person to another, so these are not caused by the microorganisms. Deficiency diseases, metabolic diseases, and hereditary diseases are non-communicable diseases. I will give you some examples of non-communicable diseases, that is beriberi, scurvy, night blindness, diabetes, as these are not caused by microorganisms as well, and they are not transferred from one person to another. Now come back to communicable diseases. Communicable diseases, as we already discussed, they can be transferred from an infected person to healthy one, so they are transmissible diseases. They are also called transmissible diseases, and these are caused by the microorganisms. So disease causing microorganisms are known as the pathogens. So virus, bacteria, fungi, and protozoans are some of the common pathogens which are responsible for causing the diseases, for the transferring of diseases from one infected person to the healthy person. So later on we will discuss about these diseases, virus, how these cause virus, bacteria, and fungi are causing the diseases in human body. Some of the examples of communicable diseases are dengue, influenza, common cold, typhoid, cholera, malaria. All these are communicable diseases, and they can be transferred from an infected person to a healthy one. Our next topic is deficiency diseases. Deficiency diseases are those diseases which are caused due to the deficiency of nutrients in our body. Nutrients are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. When there is a lack of nutrients, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins in our body, we can have these deficiency diseases. Now I am going to give you the examples of deficiency diseases. One is Kwashiorkor and one is Marfans. Kwashiorkor is a disease that can be seen in the children below the age of 1 year, that is infants. It is caused due to the deficiency of proteins in the body when the child is deprived of their mother's milk. As the mother's milk is considered to be the protein-rich diet, when they are not getting this milk properly, so they can be suffering from this disease, that is kwashiorkor. The reason may be with the arrival of a new baby in the family, mother is working or mother is not staying with them, whatever the reason may be. The next is marasmus. Marasmus is a disease that can be seen in the children below the age of 5 years. It is caused due to the deficiency of proteins as well as carbohydrates in the body. Now, the symptoms of kwashiorkor and marasmus. How can we check that either the child is suffering from any one of the disease or not? First one is kwashiorkor, slow and stunting growth. It means the child's body is not developing properly. His or her growth has been stopped now. Second is large and bulging belly, which means the belly of a child is coming outwards. There is a growth beyond the limit in the child's belly. Next is we are able to see the swelling in the child's body due to swelling in tissues under the skin, as there is an accumulation of fluids in the child's body. Next is yellowing of hair and skin. It means there is unhealthy growth of hair and skin in the child's body. Next is symptoms of marasmus. First one is protruding rib cage. It means that rib cage is sticking out, as there is external growth seen in the rib cage. It is coming outwards. Thin wrinkled arms and legs. The child's arms and legs are becoming thin, and we are able to see the lines on his or her arms and legs, which we mostly see in the old age people. Sunken eyes means we are seeing the watered eyes, means in his or her eyes. Mental retardation. It means that the child is disabled to learn new things properly. There is a disability of learning.